You're listening to The Coach Show with Coach Banks, Coach Swanson, Coach Kozlerich, and Coach Doherty on the Coaching Culture and Athletics Radio Broadcast Network. Sit back and enjoy the show. The views and opinions discussed in this podcast are not necessarily the opinion of the host or the Coach Show on the Coaching Culture in Athletics Radio Broadcast Network. Let's get it done.
All right, everybody, I don't want to yell, so I won't yell and blast your eardrums out. I'll be unmuting the group here in just a few moments. Tonight, you're in for a real treat, folks. We have head Vacaville Christian High School head football coach Manny Tarango, and you're in for a real treat. It's the 425, all that good stuff, and I did notice, Coach Doherty, your mom is the first one in again. I'm going to have to give her a free book. That's just the way it is, right?
That's right. Hey, Mom.
That's awesome, Coach Tarango. Can you kind of tell everybody a little bit about yourself? How many years you've been coaching out there, and just a little bit about just who you are.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you guys for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm getting ready to go into my coaching football. Started out as a youth football coach here in Vacaville back in 2005. Back then, I think they were called the mid division. I think they're like a 14U now, but started there in the military. I've been in the military almost 17 years. My supervisor, though, at the time was running this organization here in Vacaville and said, hey, you played ball and, you're from Texas. I'm sure you know a thing or two about football. Why don't you come out and show us what you got? And so I did not expect to turn it to a passion and a culture, and now being a head football coach here in the community. It's so much more than just football, and I'm sure you all understand that. I was not expecting the relationships and stuff that you end up building with your players in the community, but I'm super thankful for it. And here we are 15 years later, and now getting an opportunity to talk with you all and everybody else that's interested in what we all try to do, and that's motivate young people to do something incredible. And
I appreciate that. Now, I'm going to let Coach Doherty and Coach Kozlerich and Coach Bryant really take the lead tonight, because they love talking shop, and there's something about, but I'll just throw this out there. There's something about football, guys, that there's just it's just unmatched, in my opinion. When you look at the fall, the smell of the hot dogs, this, that, and the other. But I guess I'll start things. I guess my first thing is, Coach, what made you switch from a 3-5-3 to a 4-2-5?
Well, first off, I think everybody would agree you have to be able to run stuff that your kids are capable of running. And so at the time when we were a 3-5-3 defense, we could run cover 3 very well. We could run our man stuff. And we had the small backers that could fly around. And then as we transitioned, we started getting bigger guys. And there was one time where, or 1 year that our D-line, and I had a 300-pound nose tackle that could move. I had a 280-pound defensive end, a 230-pound defensive end, and our backers were about 205 to 215. And so, being in that odd front helped. And then when we got those guys out and moving, now our linebackers were 190, 200 pounds, maybe 205, and our D lineman 225. I think one year our biggest defensive end was 245, and so that's why we had to make that transition and kept a lot of our philosophies that we do or that we've always done. But again, trying to put the best 11 guys on the field to execute a game plan, you got to be able to do what you're built to do. And so the 4-2-5 just made a lot of sense for us, and we made a lot of money off of it, and we continue to.
Coaches, you have anything? Man,
I guess I'll start them. So, Coach, we ran a 4-2-5 for about 10 years. I was an assistant. This was my first year as a head coach. We switched to an odd front. We're actually going the opposite way of you. We had some big dudes. We're getting smaller, it seems. I'd like to think more athletic, though. So I was a secondary coach mainly. How many coverages are you running out of your 4-2-5?
Right now, we try to stay with a base 2 read or palms coverage, quarters. It's called so many different things. But typically, depending on how well the kids grasp it, and every year it changes, but we can get into about 5 to 7 different coverages.
Now, when you're talking coverage, I'm also interested in this. I'm going to guess that do you see a lot of teams with trips, empty, this, that, and the other? I mean, does 4-2 does it make what's the difference between like your 4-2? Are you slanting versus your old 3-3? Where you had gaps?
Yeah, well, in our 3-5, we typically try to run and keep everything. If you've watched the Iowa State Cyclones play, they've made it really popular of playing in that 3-front dime type package nowadays. I know the Air Force Academy was doing it there for a good while, and so we used to really pinch and play those gaps and try to do those kinds of things. And so now with the 4-2-5, we can't stay static and play gaps, but it makes the defense a little bit more when you can get multi-verse in the fronts. And so sometimes you don't have to slant. Although my current defensive coordinator, Pat Moore, he loves to move that defensive line around and slant them left and right and do all different types. But it really is going to go down to what you're comfortable doing and what you are doing. And so for us, being an odd front and being able to take those gaps and then have everybody else fill off of that, now we're essentially creating that pressure with our 4-2-5 to force things to move in the direction that we want it so we can run it down with our athleticism.
There's just a bit of a delay, folks, if you're listening, because I'm going to guess that the internet traffic is much higher out west than it is here in the Midwest. So I just want to throw that out there right away. Coach Kosrich, it's good to see you, brother. I didn't know we were going to see you tonight.
Yeah, I don't know about Friday nights and the smell of hot dogs. Some people say the cut grass, but
okay.
If you're about hot dogs, man, we'll take it. Hey, Manny, I was just curious. Are you guys flipping your defensive backs? What's that look like? Are you putting your best cover guy on their best receiver, or how are you guys going into game plan weeks with that?
So when I first started running it, when I was at Vanden High School, we did flip. Our strong safety was always to the wide side of the field, and then our weak side safety was our best man player, and so we made sure that we put him in those types of situations or whatnot, since we run split field coverage. So the strong safety was more of the dropper, more of your linebacker type of guy that can get in a drop. And the weak side safety was the man guy. So, and then there was a time where offenses started getting way faster. And so obviously we had to transition because we just couldn't make the adjustment fast enough with flipping flipping the safeties, the strong safety and the weak side safety. So what we do now is we cross train them, and if it's in the game plan for us, we identify maybe a receiver that maybe they're trying to get us in a 3-by-1 situation and trying to get their best receiver with our, I guess, weaker corner. Then we have that ability, because we cross train, where we can take maybe that weak side safety who's 6'3", a little bit heavier, and or I should say longer, to go and take away those matchups. But I've done it so many different ways, and now we're a little bit more comfortable with saying, no, you're the strong safety, you're going to be on our own side, you're the weak side safety, you're going to be on predominantly the man side, and if we motion, then we will be, or the offense motions, we will be able to cross train you, so that way both guys can do equal things, and it's going to be up to the free safety to be able to communicate those calls so those guys know what coverage is changing.
Anything to add on there, coaches?
Hey, can you just go through like what you have pulled up here on the screen and just kind of talk to us about what you call the guys and how you're labeling them and stuff like that? Obviously, I know you'd have your corners and stuff. I didn't know if you typically have a boundary corner or your wide side or how you're doing that. But if you could just label those, I don't know if you can draw on this or not.
No, unfortunately not. But I can do this.
Yeah, I can tell you this right now with your look screen. It's a great opportunity. It's your typical, like I said, you can have a field corner and a boundary corner. I know the defense is Patterson is the one that kind of, I guess, brought it up to fruition, but he's playing off, and we use a lot of the same terminology from them, but we just choose to, like I said, if we need to move the cover corner, we can. But this picture, you're looking at a standard 2-by-2 formation. We got our free safety right in the middle, current trying to identify where side the running back's going to go to, and that's what's going to help dictate to us where we're going to run our what we call our Lucky or our Ringo, our zone side of the defense. Now, if you look at the top of the screen, corner up there, Tamani Williams, right now he's looking back at that free safety, who right now is a sophomore, Tristan Creed, 6'3", 175 pounds, and saying, hey, what coverage are you calling? Right below him is our weak side safety. It's over the number 2 at the top left screen. And so he's looking for it as well. Then at the bottom of the screen, over the number 2 would be our strong safety, Martinez. And then at corner right next to him, Kendall Allen, that's our other corner. So what's great about it and what I love is, as you can see, the free safety is responsible for making all for the secondary and the coverage. So when we get those signals in, Rick can talk about in a little bit, or you throw in signals I'm more comfortable. That free safety, based off what we've talked about in practice, will be able to call. If we're running, like I said, Phil, which we just call robber. Okay, so right now he's trying to make a determination what side that running back is on, so that way he can make the robber coverage. And if the running back is gonna line up on the left side, if he's gonna shift, then he's gonna make that Ringo call. And so now the right or upper part of the screen now understands that they are zoned, and then the bottom of the screen is gonna echo Bronco. And that are our signal to each other that, hey, we're in man. So David down here, number 7, our strong safety, if our free safety made that call Ringo in this situation, then David would turn around and look at Kendall left corner there and say, hey, we got coverage. And now they understand that they're in man.
Okay, do you want me to play this clip, guys?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. I got to make sure it's sound there. All right, here we go.
Now what you see is it looks like they finally made a call that we're going to go ahead. You see the free safety kind of move over to the top right of the screen, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and declare a Ringo call, right? So that's when he shifts over, and you can see our weak side safety up there. He kind of shifts a little bit outside. So we're going to play outside leverage of that number 2 receiver, because we want to be able to, what we teach those strong safeties and those free safeties is, if you've got the Ringo or the lucky call, depending on what's to right, you have to be able to go with number 2, have to be on number 3. In that instance, because our free safety made the Ringo running back comes out in a flat route or a swing or whatever the case be, he's going to carry that number 2 and he will leave him and go to the number 3, the running back, once he declares to make sure that he doesn't get out. And so when we're in practice, we'll do these half line drills where we'll just put receiver, the number 2, and the running back, and we'll allow our weak side safety, our corner, and our free to be able to communicate going in. And that way he knows that, hey, I got to transition and get down to that number 3. So we teach that from day one. That's base concept, because then when we move on to 3-by-1, where we actually get the opposite side, now, hey, we've been doing this out of 2-by-2 with a running back. It's no different. It's just a receiver. And now we can continue on running our base robber coverage with our same principles, and nothing changes for us.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can't find a 3-by-1 look here.
What offense is causing you guys the most problems right now? I'm sure you guys see it all. So like one week we might go against a team that throws the ball 90% of the time, and then the next week we're, a team that might throw the ball 2 times all season and they're double tight, 3 back. What's causing you guys the most problems? Maybe it's just because of your personnel wise or because of the scheme.
Right. Yeah. So for us, another why we had to go to the 4-2-5 was 2004. What was for me the first time seeing was a based off. We had to defend those quads based off of those robber principles, and so we had to learn different. Sometimes people can call it mix or special, and then you take the remaining 3 receivers and you treat them like robber, using your back safety as a stress defender, being able to come over and rob the middle of the field to help defend number 3 vertical, knowing that your corner's taking out 1 out the game. So we had to. That was probably the first offense that gave us problems. But once we learned how to run, like I said, those stress coverages, where we learned how to run push, that really helped being able to take away those quads. So then the next offense that would give us trouble, which we now see in our league a lot, is the double wing. And so I think for the most part, with the double wing, you're either going to give up power pitch or you're going to give up the dive, or if they're a very heavy counter-based offense, you're going to have to pick your poison. So for right now, for us, we're trying to find a way to put our best defensive linemen in the positions where we can take away what they're best at doing. So that I would say is probably the most difficult offense to defend, just because there's so many down blocks and there's just guys coming over and you got the tight splits, and so that 4-2-5 is really designed to try to get those guys to run sideline to sideline. Well, if you got 3 tight end sets, fullback, those wings, those flex bone type stuff, and you don't get a good edge or you get a late off the ball, those smaller defensive linemen are going to get washed down, and your linebackers are going to get stuck in that wash. So I would say right now would probably be the wishbone, or I should say the flex bone offense that probably gives us a little bit of trouble.
Flexbone is one of my favorite offenses. I'll just throw that out there. But you definitely have to have the horses for that. Now in this particular play that's up here on the screen that you're defending, are you in? See, right here we have kind of a stand-up tight end. I'm looking offensively, so to the right there. Do you have your defensive end? Is he in like a 5, or is he in like a 7 inside that tight end?
Yeah, so right there, Beavers split. Still going to defend that as a 3-by-1, but we decided to put our strong right side. You can call it sky coverage. I've been with coaches. We want to keep that weak side. That's at the top of the screen. Defender. The one to spill everything to, because those are our most athletic guys down. In this formation, that defensive end that's standing up, because the split of wrist right next to the off tackle, not going to get in. Do have times where offenses will be foot to foot with that tackle, and we say, okay, linebacker, less there who's standing. We're not going to treat him like a receiver. If that receiver were to come in and be tight, we line up a technique. We're looking at the hip down look. We're coming in, squeeze down, pull those. So that would act on the line. If I have a window to be able to come up, and you'll see our free right alley. It looks like it's called on. We have our middle deep. We call and or Mike off the sheet, our defense, and he is going to go on it. So the equal, I've called it 4, which is base front, just backer. You're not cover. So tier 40, that Sam or side end, stud end, many different things. We just call it that same linebacker was the left. So I'm part of the front. I am a to the linebacker. So since we're what we call pretty down, so we're going to side linebacker, defensive end is going to then our and enough our Mike linebacker pick up. He's going to run, or what we call he's.
Coach, we're having some pretty. There's a lot of breakup right now. Is there any way that I can call you via my computer and get you back on the line through that way? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I'm wondering if it's not a connectivity issue out there, and I think all I have to do is just dial him in here. Let's see here. I'm gonna shoot him a message on Twitter, and I'll get his number that way. So if you guys want to chat it up here for a few months, broke up again. I'm not sure. I'll shoot him a message via Twitter and get his cell phone number because it's breaking up here. So you guys chat for a minute.
Doherty, so at Fort Madison, you guys have been running the 4 and now you're going to a 3, or?
Yeah, so we ran the 4 front for all 10 years that I was there. This year we switched to a 3 front. Really happy with it, but I think it fits our personnel a lot better than what we've had in the past. So,
are you guys playing double high safety, 2 high safety? Are you playing single high safety?
We like to start 2. We'll roll sometimes. Stay 2 high sometimes. That's kind of our problem in the past. Is we ran the 4-2-5. We sat in a cover 3 all the time, and
love it.
Yeah. So
now that's what I wanted. Up here, it's like everybody has the 2 high safeties. Down in Southern Iowa, is like we're facing cover 3 week in and week out, and yeah, for passing the ball, it's like, hey, all right, but.
Right. Just keep chatting it up, boys. I about have it here. I'm going to call him.
Schedules come out tomorrow.
Yep.
Oh, really? So that'll be exciting time for Iowa high school football. Should be some good matchups. We're excited about.
Centerville didn't pick you?
Come on, Banks.
All right.
Hey, one of my questions that I am going to have for Manny because I think he can hear us all right. I don't know if we can hear him. But I was just curious, and you can think about what you want to do. I was just curious why they stand up their defensive ends, if that's something that they found to be beneficial or if it's a comfort thing with the guys or what. And then I was also curious, like, what their landmarks are, whenever they're coming across, because it looks like they're really firing out, getting after it. I didn't know if they're, getting hands-on and squeezing, if they see a lot of zone or anything like that, or they're just, turn the beast loose and let them go.
Okay, the phone was busy here. I'm going to try one more time here.
It's apocalypse out there, man.
Yeah, it's there is a lot of web traffic. I'm just going to guess with everybody working from home and stuff. So it's a pretty crazy time in the world, isn't it?
Right on.
Okay, and then you have me trying to figure out how to use this technology stuff on the computer. See,
you're still thinking about hot dogs on Friday night.
Oh, stop it! All right, so I'm calling him now. Phone calls. Oh, it's going to say it wants to register my number. So go ahead and keep talking, guys. Sorry.
All right.
What are you guys running up front? Are you guys even or odd?
We're an odd front, but we move to an even front, but we're always covering the nose. Or we're always covering the center, so we still have a nose and a D tackle. So we start with a nose and 2 D tackles. One of the D tackles is going to slide out to a defensive end. And then we're basically a 3-4, but we walk one of our linebackers down and make it look more like a 4-3. 2 high safeties, and we'll roll coverage and stuff like that. And we'll split field coverage, a lot of things. So pretty similar to what he's kind of doing right now.
You guys hear me?
Just we start in an odd front and move and shift out of it.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 stud defensive ends, outside linebackers. They're twins, and they're both 185 pounds and 6'1", and can move, and all-state linebackers last year. It's first year playing high school football. Can't complain about that.
Man, I still haven't got my verification code yet, guys. Sorry.
When you're 2 high, are you guys running cover 2, 4, or?
We're running some version of like a cover 2. We could be moving to a cover 3, but taking the hash away. So we'll split field. So we'll play quarter, half. We could stay in a cover 3, but we don't typically stay stagnant like that. We could, play halves. We could go cover 2-man underneath, but we're basically moving. Our free safeties like to run the alleys, and they're both hard-hitting kids. They're two twins, too.
Yeah.
And they'll stick their nose in it. And, one's the quarterback, so I try not to let them too much. But they'll come up and pop people. It's been really good because it's disguised a lot of blitzes for us. I mean, our defense last year was tough.
Our quarterback played free safety for us this year. He loves to hit. He's a wrestler. He's qualified for, so he's kind of a tough-nosed kid. And makes me a little bit nervous, but football players.
Yeah, he wants to cheat in there, be a linebacker, man. You better move him.
Okay, I think I'm close.
They're trying to call your. You lose them?
Yeah.
I think we can hear him.
Yeah.
No.
So it's making me wonder if it's not my internet that's slow, guys.
Yeah, I tried to change my mic, guys. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or
I'm
not.
great now.
Yep. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Can you hear us okay now? Okay.
Nope.
He left. All right. Let me try to call him one more time. See here. Man, I'm
technology.
Yeah. I'm not even flustered. Let's just have a good time, right?
That's right.
Okay, busy.
Tyler, what's Central Lee? What are you guys doing now?
That's a good question. It'll be depending on who is coaching, because our head coach has resigned, and so we're trying to get that figured out.
Understandable. One thing that I like that what Manny was talking about, and you see it in high school levels all the time. He talked about changing due to his personnel.
Yes.
When I sit there and we watch a bunch of teams that struggle, it's like, here's how we're going to do it. And it's like, you keep doing the same way, but you keep struggling.
There we go.
Yeah.
Got you guys back.
Good. Sorry, Coach. I was trying to call you, and I was just getting a busy signal.
Yeah, that's weird. I've got my phone right here, so it hasn't rung yet.
Man, well, and again, just high, probably just high volume or whatever. But it is what it is. We'll get through it. Go ahead and come back to this formation here, Coach, and take us through your philosophy of how you're going to stop that type of formation.
So lost me at, but yeah. So like I said, they're playing tighter to the line and still treat it as a passing formation. So you can see down at the bottom of the screen is those, and then our defensive ends are call it the Sam. We're going to inside foot question. Really, why do we end up the end for goal when we passing formation, whether it's 3-by-1 or 2, squeeze down on that back. So that way, if we do get a reach base, can go ahead and get into half, and then we can lock him out with our side hand, and then we can still hold it. About earlier, we went down. Since we do have to defend those quarter ball in the zone, we can be able to get out formation. These guys wanted to try to get perimeter, and a lot of who was right now on the screen to be out way when vertical he can release an open hip and guide. Listen for